domestic companies in India, big or small, are run or controlled by a family. To edify, in India, 15 of top 20 businesses, 15 of top 20 business groups are family owned. One of the biggest challenges in a family-run business is continual change of roles as new generations join the mix and ability of new generation leaders to mix up with existing professional management. पारिवारिक व्यवसाय में युवाओं की भूमिका वास्तव में महत्वपूर्ण और अभिन्न है। जहां हमने इतनी बात की है फैमिली बिजनेस मैनेजमेंट और रोल ऑफ यंगस्टर्स के बारे में, तो हमारे नेक्स्ट स्पीकर से भी हम जानना चाहेंगे कि उनका इस विषय पे क्या राय है। एंड वी हैव आवर एस्टीम्ड गेस्ट एंड डायरेक्टर ऑफ Mandhana Industries, Mr. Manish Mandhana, to enlighten us on the role in family managed business for youngsters. And I request Mrs. Meghna Jaju to introduce and welcome Mr. Manish Mandhana ji. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Entrepreneurship is neither a science nor an art, but a practice. Mr. Manish Mandhana, CEO of Mandhana Retail Venture Limited, and being human, has proven that practice can do wonders. He, through his extraordinary entrepreneurial skills and vast experience, has established his brand presence in 15 countries worldwide. He is currently associated with companies like Quicksilver, Mango, Ellen Solly, Pepe Jeans, and many more. He is also preferred partner to brands like Zara, Esprit, Marks & Spencer, Next, H&M, and many more. Apart from his company achieved many milestones under his administration, like Outstanding Exporter for the year 2008 night at International Trade Awards by CNBC TV, Udyog Ratna in 2007, International Textile Awards in 2006. With a strong belief in CSR activities aligned with company's philosophy and business vision, he led the initiative of venturing into retail foray, signing an exclusive agreement with Being Human Salman Khan Foundation. Mr. Manish is not only a good entrepreneur and philanthropist, but also an avid traveler with a keen interest in learning different languages. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Manish Mandhana. And now I would like to request Mr. Sunilji Jaju and Mr. Nikunji Rathi to escort and felicitate Mr. Mandhana with the token of gratitude and appreciation. Thank you. I would also like to call Mr. Gokulji Rathi to escort Mr. Manish.
Friends, I think it's the last session of the day today, so I appreciate your patience. Firstly, I would like to congratulate the MIG and BizCon associates and the organizers to having put such a fantastic event. I think it was truly inspiring, and I'm going back with a lot of intake today, and I heard some great speakers with some great ideas, vision, and philosophies. I'm a little younger than all of them, but I think I've covered a long journey myself. And I think Surat being the textile hub, which runs into my DNA, I always feel that knowledge is something that we need to share. And I think it's one of the greatest forms of charity, that you can give away your knowledge, what you've acquired over a period of time, to people and inspire the new generation. And I immediately grabbed the opportunity when I was approached to narrate my story and my experiences, and feel privileged to be here and honored. I have to cover two subjects today. One is the retail brand that we've created, which you all know about, and most of the Indians know about, which is Being Human, and the garmenting business, which I think a city like Surat, which is one of the biggest textile hubs in Asia, is still not geared up or lagging behind. And I think there's a lot of potential for all the textile business tycoons who are sitting in this hall to think about this and be a little futuristic about my perspective towards garments. I would just like to know how many people over here are related directly or indirectly to the textile business. So I think there's a good number over here which can take back something that I have to narrate. So having been born in a traditional Marwari family, doing all sorts of textile trading business, moving into manufacturing with a complete vertically integrated organization, I entered the business 25 years back, and I thought everybody in my family was doing the same business and nobody was trying to break the ice and move forward. So I decided that I think the next immediate extension to this business could be garments. And that's how I started my journey, learning my tricks of the trade in a 20 machine factory, working for all sorts of brands and manufacturing and job working for them, got into exports. I traveled extensively to almost 60 countries in my career. And I think I was a dropout from school or colleges. I was a bad student because I was not interested in studies, but I was interested in business. So I started working very early, and as we all are belonging to a community which is very, very dynamic and enterprising when it comes to business. So I learned a lot from my family members, my elders, my seniors, and also the traveling that I did for 60 countries over a period of 10 years. I met some fantastic people in my journey. I learned so much from them, and I think whatever I created in my career is learnings from all those people, putting everything together and making it work for me. So there was a time when textile business became tougher, the margins were very bad, and it was a competitive business, and I was thinking of some clutter-breaking idea. And also, the garment export business was a little difficult with Bangladesh and Vietnam and all these countries coming into the business and being the cheap source of supplies. So I was looking at India. I think it was growing at a very, very fast pace. The youth in India, which is the power in India, was today it constitutes to almost 65% of our population, and which is the key growth driver for our country. And I knew that the end use of the fabric that is being sold is garments, and this country is still not, ready with the tools and means to take this business forward. So 5 years back, I realized that, the modern retail in India is really growing rapidly, and there's a lot of potential of a homegrown brand which could be international in nature, but it had to be a eureka idea. It had to be something which stands out amongst the rest of the brands which are all doing a great job in their own capacity. So my mother was a donor, so I grew up, learning a lot from her. She's a very kind woman, always ready to help people, support the needy. And she always told me, beta, जो भी काम करे, समाज के लिए कुछ अच्छा जरूर करना और कुछ जरूर सोचना. And it stayed in my mind, and I said, okay, I have to create a business which is social in nature, which can get me revenues, get me growth, but at the same time change the world in my own way. And the idea of Being Human was born. Salman Khan had a foundation called Being Human Foundation, where he was helping the poor people for their health care, education, but he did whatever he could do in his own capacity. I fell in love with the name because Being Human itself was a statement on its own. It did not need a punchline. It meant a lot, and it was a very universal name. Having worked abroad all my life, I think I learned a lot from the Goras. I think they really know how to respect people. They really know how to honor their commitments and be a little less fraudulent and more organized. They also take a lot of care of the environment, I think, which is also very, very important aspect of, today's businesses, that we have to love the nature and we have to love the world and the environment that we live in. So I was weaving an idea in my head, thinking that, there has to be, being human can be a brand. I think it's just a name, but the name can be really used for good causes and exploited to create something bigger. So his brother-in-law Atul happens to be my childhood friend. I just gave him a call and I said, this foundation, Being Human Foundation that Salman is running, how does it get funded? He said he's funding it himself, and he asked for money from people. They gave it one time, but after everything, nobody came forward. I said, how about me making it into a business? And there is a certain percentage from the business that can be spent on charity and good causes. He said, why not? You are a pioneer in textile and apparel business and you are the right guy to do it. So he arranged my meeting with Salman. I shared my idea with him that let me make it a social brand for you, which stands for what it means and does really good things. And at the same time, if we create a name, we can do a lot more with this name to collect more money for the corpus to help out the needy. He immediately agreed the idea, and that's when we started. It's been 5 years now, but in 5 years we've covered a very, very long distance. We have more than 600 outlets of sales all over the world. This is the only homegrown Indian brand which has truly gone to overseas and sold. And there's no other Indian brand which has got such a far-fetched reach as Being Human is. We have presence in Europe, we have presence in Middle East, we have presence in Fiji Islands, we have presence in Nepal, and of course India is the playground where we continue to grow. Grew the way it grew and continues to grow. I think it plays a very, very key role. The world is changing really fast and rapidly. We need to adapt to these conditions and gear ourselves up to upgrade ourselves. Obviously, with all the big changes happening within the constitution of the country, like GST and demonetization, I think all this in a long run is for the benefit of the country, for the benefit of the people of the country. We do feel certain roadblocks because we've been used to working in a certain way, but I think it's all about the economy being clean going forward. When we go abroad, we see everything organized, a lot of facilities for the civilians and citizens because they pay taxes, they're honest about it. I think if we imbibe this into us, it's all going to come back to us because somewhere we should love our nation, and for the benefit of the nation, if you're paying taxes and following a certain rules and system, I think it will only make us grow faster and leap ahead compared to any competition in the world. I think in businesses, it's not only about making a great product, having a great marketing campaign. A lot of other aspects are important about the people who work for you, to take care of them, give them their dues and respect. To the consumer, I think you have to be consumer obsessed in today's times. It's not about customer service anymore, it's about customer obsession that can make you grow faster. I think we should all think about innovation in our business. I think that's one of the key reasons certain companies have grown the way they have grown. And of course, I would still like to reiterate the fact that charity has to become a part of your life. If you notice any of the big giants or richest individuals in the world, whether it's the Tata Group, whether it's the Birla Group, whether it's Mark Zuckerberg, whether it's Warren Buffett, whether it's Bill Gates, whether it's Azim Premji, if you noticed one thing in common, 90% or 99% of their wealth has gone for the welfare of the people. Even at 1% holding, they are still amongst the richest people in the world. That's the power of charity. I think what goes around comes around in many folds, and we should all make a conscious effort to add that element of goodness in our business, which can make a lot of difference and which can really, give you that divine blessing to grow faster and to reach your goals. I would just like to quickly show you a little bit of a glimpse of being human, the stores, the kind of products we do, and then I'll move on to the subject of Surat as a textile hub, which could be more interesting for you guys. I'd like to show you some videos about the brand and what it does.
वो था ना belittled होना, आदमी को अपनी जगह दिखाना, वो आज मेरे साथ हुआ है.
So my name is Maitri Jichkar. I run an organization called Zero Gravity.
I'm Arjun Meghe.
I'm Jyotiba.
We're from Insaniyat.
I am Purva and I work with Once Upon a Doug.
So my name is Diane. We need to speak more about periods.
My name is Karan. I'm basically a shoemaker.
My name is Ravi Raj. I am an occupational therapist.
My name is Rajiv Kher. I am the CEO and the founder of Sara Plus Private Limited.
इन्होंने आके बता दिया कि भाई काम ऐसा होता है.
Basically, a year ago, I got my period and I was completely lost. I did not have a pad with me, and the whole process just got me thinking, if I'm still facing these problems, imagine how bad it would be outside there.
So when we initially started, we started off with a women's self-defense campaign, called it Maa Behan, because of the impact the word just Maa Behan has.
So we are into education, healthcare and rural development.
The main objective was to let these women have an income source of their own.
We work in the space of children with development disabilities and their families.
I've started making shoes for differently abled people.
I think in India, providing sanitation to people is not just a mere service, but I think it is providing dignity to people.
And when you see so much of selflessness, so much of compassion, so much of eagerness to do so much of good, you feel really, really happy.
We actually think it's a great opportunity that they've given us so that we could come here and actually put forward our thoughts and our ideas.
Being Human is trying to be a voice for us and helping us give this space where we can talk about the work we do.
We are pretty much the unsung heroes of a lot of activities which is not very glamorous.
That's what being human is all about. It's making its own difference.
It kind of gives me a sense of pride.
And to know that there's someone looking out for you, someone who also is in the same space, we're not alone.
So that we as young 23-year-olds can inspire more people.
Happiness, you kind of get happiness by sharing it and spreading it.
We just met 9 or 10 of them. I'm sure कि 128 करोड़ की population के अंदर 28 करोड़ तो ऐसे होनी चाहिए.
So basically we engage youth. We try to motivate them to add the goodness part in their lives and be a part of the Being Human family. And there's another video that I'll show you. So we keep shooting our advertisement campaigns with these kind of inspiring stories.
Who have been diagnosed with rare cancers. Our objective is to ensure that any patient in any part of the world has access to the best treatment.
Well, I'm the trustee, founder of Akshara Foundation of Arts and Learning, where children from various socio-economic backgrounds are integrated into the school along with the regular children. Now, why I say regular is children who can afford the fees. And here are children who are coming in who cannot afford a kind of an education maybe this country affords.
I'm the chairperson of ASIMA, which is an organization which is committed to providing quality education to children from marginalized communities.
Treatment, as all of us know, is difficult to come by, it's expensive, and patients and their families, the minute there is a diagnosis of cancer, they feel a tremendous sense of isolation. So our role is actually to step in at that point in time and ensure they have someone to hold their hands.
We have more than 6.5 lakh of children who are out of school, have not seen the inside of a school.
So it's wonderful that Salman Khan and Being Human have taken on this initiative of educating very underprivileged children who would not otherwise have access to quality education.
In Akshara High School, all the fees of the children are subsidized. And this is where Being Human comes and supports us.
Initially, Being Human helped us across 1 schools, and now we've taken it across 2 schools, and their support has really changed the entire infrastructure at the school.
It has really given us a lot of encouragement to see how Being Human has involved itself in espousing our cause.
In this billions of kind of population, Being Human maybe could be just a small little factor, but it's a beginning.
It helps us to tell the world how just a little bit of compassion can really go a very long way.
So we have 2 stores in Surat. Whoever lives here, I'm sure some of you all know it, and if you all don't know it, please do visit. Coming back to Surat being one of the biggest textile hubs in the country, and me being engaged in the business of textiles for a very, very long time, I wonder why is Surat not entered the garmenting field? It is very, very surprising for me. I think the key component of any garment or apparel, which is roti, kapda or makan, the basic necessities of life, and that business can never go out of style. And Surat being one of the largest manufacturer of one of the world's finest fabrics, whether it is polyester, printed, embroidered, because they have the highest investment that has gone into this city or around this city into the field of textiles. My appeal to the youngsters or the fathers or uncles who have youngsters going to follow in their business is to engage the new generation into the field of apparel. Because in the entire textile value chain, I think the maximum profitability, maximum thrill, maximum kamai, as you can say, comes from apparel. And there is the lowest investment. A sewing machine costs 10,000, 15,000 rupees. Today you have Technology Upgradation Fund, that's TUF, from the Government of India, which allows you 5% subsidy on any investment you make, as you all must be knowing, because it also applies into textiles. Why are there no garmenting manufacturing facilities in Surat to the level what it could be? If you look at Indian market itself, today you can see H&M, Zara, Forever 21. Every other foreign brand is coming in India and setting their shops. 2 days back, the government has announced 100% FDI in retail. This place is going to be more competitive. All these foreign brands are going to come, but we have become the world's factory, if you realize. We don't understand our own potential within the country. We are a population of 1.3 billion people, which have to be clothed and dressed. And there is a huge opportunity right here. Ethnic wear market, which Surat specializes in, whether it's fabrics or salwar kameez fabrics or saris, I think is the fastest growing category in India today. Brands like Biba, Global Desi, and W, they have shown some extraordinary growth. And I'm surprised to see that all the fabrics that these guys are using are made in Surat. But why is Surat not taking that initiative to produce the garment by themselves? I think there are some fashion schools which already exist over here, or maybe there is NIFT in Gandhinagar, or even that could be a great business to open a fashion school over here. I think the new generation need to be shaken up, need to be pushed and encouraged to try their hands on garments. Today, fortunately, even if you create a brand, it's not that difficult to sustain it, because earlier you used to invest in your stores where all your money used to be deployed. Today, there is online. You will be surprised that for Being Human, 10% of our top line comes from online business. And our products get delivered to almost 25,000 PIN codes. It's the easiest platform to sell. You don't need a physical store. You don't need investment. Even if you have a small business, you can put it online and start selling. That's one possibility which one has to explore. There are large format stores which have counters of multiple brands like Lifestyle, Shoppers Stop, Central, or whatsoever. We've gone international. There are possibilities of going international. There is a huge domestic market which is awaiting and waiting to grab a good piece of work or a good piece of clothing or a good piece of merchandise. I think, a couple of months back, I was in Gandhinagar with the Apparel Export Promotion Council Committee, and we happened to meet the joint secretary over there, along with Smriti Irani, who's the textile minister. I think Gujarat is offering some fabulous opportunities for investment in garmenting, because it also creates a lot of employment. I think all the women of our India, if you're talking about women empowerment, I think in the sewing area of the industry, I think women can easily get jobs and opportunities. And there are lots of small villages, talukas, where the labor can come in from and they can get some livelihood. Also, government is offering some special SOPs and amounts to the entrepreneurs to subsidize the cost. They are also making buildings which you can rent, so you don't have to create land and building. All you need to do is just make your investment in machinery, pay a nominal rent and run your facilities. And they are also providing training centers and stuff. I think a thought that all the textile people sitting here should go back with from here today is Surat needs to be one of the huge and one of the biggest garment manufacturing hubs in the next 5 or 10 years. I think the opportunity is right here. I think the younger generation is very, very easily adaptable to changes. They are also looking for newness and freshness in businesses. I think the older generation can always guide them and give them the right values and the right guidance and the right base and foundation. But the new generation should look at garment manufacturing as the next future, business possibility, which can definitely thrive out of Surat. And anything that is required, the government is very, very active when it comes to textile. They are really promoting. Smriti Irani has been doing a fabulous job. I think the associations over here should go and voice out your opinion to the textile ministry to set up, apparel parks or something around Surat, which can, generate a lot of buzz of garment manufacturing in Surat. All of you in personal capacity should make smaller investments to start with, but start somewhere. I think everything that becomes big has to start small or somewhere. And along the whole process and journey, you'll also end up learning the tricks of the trade. I think business is in the blood of all of you. And I think this I see as a rising sun opportunity for a place like Surat. And I think you have to convert all your fabric into garments to enjoy more profitability in your business and grow your business further. Thank you so much.